So, before I show a cool flashy intro on this matchup, which is the current standard for this type of video, I'm gonna do something a little different, that I hope becomes standard if this video idea becomes like a trend or something. Thank you, Levitation, for your amazing content and for directly inspiring this video. Please, if you like this video or versus content in general, then please watch this guy. His content and all of his videos just, they slap, they're great, and his death battle related videos somehow slap even harder. So please, I highly recommend his work. He's just a really cool dude. His videos are really cool. Just, yeah, watch him, and yeah, now, intro time. Luke Skywalker versus Paul Atreides is a perfect death battle, and I really want it to happen. Why though? Well, it's honestly simple. I love both characters, and I honestly believe it brings the most to the table out of any other matchup I've ever come across. Now that's very opinionated, and I probably won't make that your opinion. So maybe I can at least make you like it. So, let's get started. Both are classic, sidekick chosen ones, destined to lead a small rebellion against the evil empire that destroyed their family, despite their blood relations with an imperial higher-up, and both have to master an inner power that shapes the universe. Both are also not technically supposed to be alive, with Luke being the son of a Jedi and Paul being a male Bene Gesserit. Both have to overcome their own youth, immaturity, and inner struggle with their own evil or dark side. But the most interesting part comes next, their contrasts, being that Luke defeats his evil without succumbing to it the way Paul does. Luke goes on to become a symbol of hope throughout the universe, while Paul becomes a tyrant far worse than the ones he overthrew. In essence, both are mirrors of the other, representing a different path the other could have gone down. As I've explained, they have clearly great and thematic connections. However, this matchup has some legacy, especially when you put into account the influence their series have had. Both have influenced pretty much the entire genre of sci-fi, from anywhere to Gundam all the way to Warhammer 40k, even with Dune's author, Frank Herbert, noting some of the similarities between both Dune and Star Wars. Connections like these help to factor into another part of any death battle matchup, that being animation. Animation potential here is somewhat simple, but can get pretty crazy, which is why I asked some of pretty cool people. I'm really struggling to read this, guys. I'm sorry. I know it's supposed to be professional, but this is kicking my ass. This is why I asked some pretty cool people to share with me artwork for this fight. Thanks again, guys. You rock. Anyways, the fight could start with a short blaster fight, and then a close-up fight with Luke's saber and Paul's shield and knife, with a good "May the Force be with you" from Luke, and a "May thy knife chip and shatter" from Paul, which, as the fight goes, Paul would try to use the voice to overwhelm Luke, and Luke would resist, or push Paul back before being fully overwhelmed, with it eventually escalating to a Jedi versus a Kaiju, aka giant sandworm fighting Luke. However, I had an idea for this fight personally, and a friend of mine in the Death Battle Discord had the same idea, and made this piece. This idea that the Force and the voice would interact in a way that lets them see each other's history, realizing how similar they are and the different paths they chose, could make a matchup that already has great dialogue potential even better. You could even have a line in there like Zuko versus Todoroki, the "he's just like me," but it would hit much harder given the context of them seeing each other's stories, especially with the idea that Luke would understand why Paul did what he did and likely feel bad about fighting him. He may even try to turn him to the light, which Paul would likely reject considering his visions and his reluctance to listen to others. All this while they're fighting in visions of futures that haven't yet come to pass, like them meeting his old hermits. It could also end with the winner really seeing himself in the other, and instead of an insult, it could be more civilized and kind, like Korra versus Storm, Obito versus Vader, or Magneto versus Tetsuo. Now, I'm an okay power scaler, but I'm definitely no expert. However, you don't need to be to see how one-sided this matchup is. Paul has ways of hurting Luke, sure, but overall Luke completely destroys Paul, and for most matchups, that would really hurt it. And at the end of the day, What's the point of a who wins debate without debate? Well, if Death Battle has shown me anything, especially recently, it's not about whether a matchup is close or not. It matters if it's fun, if it could look cool, and if it could make you feel. Not necessarily everyone, just you. That's why most people have their own most wanted. And that's why not only is it my favorite matchup ever, not only is my most wanted, but I think Luke Skywalker versus Paul Atreides is perfect.